Hand speed is a very important thing for a boxer to have. Obviously, some boxers will punch faster than others. A few boxers will come to mind when the word speed is brought up, one being Joe Joyce, the other being Amir Khan. Khan was historically known for his hand speed, but in this new generation of boxing, there's a lot of boxers who could rival Amir Khan's hand speed. So I'm going to go through my opinion of the top 5 fastest hands in boxing, and number 5 is going to be Jaron Boots Ennis. Ennis is considered by many to be the future of boxing. Not only is he incredibly skilled, but also very fun to watch at the same time. And one of the most entertaining things about his style is how fast he is. Ennis seems to have almost inhuman reflexes and athleticism. Listen to the speed of his jab.
But in with that, he's never been on feel like, but if is of fight, that think maybe jab thereby.
His jabs seem to have the same effect as a power punch. In my opinion, his best performance to date is his fight versus Raymond. Villa is an incredibly tough, powerful and durable pressure boxer, and Ennis spent almost the whole fight doing whatever he wanted. He seems to be moving at 2 times the speed of Villa. The fight itself was basically 10 straight rounds of constant punishment from Jaron Ennis. Ennis basically using him as target practice before it all became too much for Villa. After taking 164 power punches to the head, he'd eventually go down in round 10. Ennis' most recent performance was against David Avanesian, who was stopped on the stool in between rounds. The next fight for Ennis is taking place this Saturday in a rematch versus Karen Chikadzian, who he went the distance with first time. Our number 4 spot is going to go to Naoya Inoue. One reason his opponents never see Inoue's punches coming is because of how well timed. Inoue seems to have mastered the ability to move in and out. While his hands are fast, I do believe his footwork is the fastest in boxing, which is a big reason as to why he's arguably the best fighter in the world. And that's just talking about speed, not even including power, which is ridiculous for a bantamweight. Inoue's best performance, in my opinion, would have to be his fight versus unified champion Stephen Fulton. Inoue decided for his first fight in a new weight class was to face the best fighter in that division at the time, which was Stephen Fulton. Fulton being a very skilled boxer with a size advantage, but Inoue simply beat him to the punch every time, and eventually got the knockout in round 8. Inoue is one of those boxers I could put on any top 5 list, and it'd still work. Top 5 speed, top 5 power, technique, timing, footwork, resume, entertainment. Everything seems to somehow apply to Inoue. His most recent win came versus TJ Doheny, who somehow broke his back after getting beaten up by Inoue. And Inoue's next opponent is booked for the end of December against Australian Sam Goodman. Our number 3 spot is going to go to David Benavidez. David is by far the heaviest boxer on this list. Instead of single punches, David's speed comes from his combination punching. Listen to the sound and look at how fast the hands move for such a big guy.
Boyd Ellis's shots and really jab. Leads with the right in there. And the ropes trying to. Speaking of fire, there's some fire.
You are absolutely right. Remember, Benavidez said he would have him.
He's got a lot of growing to do, and he's doing nice. For your good.
Oh, right uppercut, another uppercut, and now David Ben's hitting the body, the head. He is just strafing, really, with Ellis pinned in the corner, and now Benavidez unloading on.
Benavidez fights very unconventional. He seems to abandon the idea of fundamental footwork for the sake of constant pressure. And because of that, along with his hand speed, he's an almost impossible boxer to beat at close quarters. Doesn't matter if he gets hit, he will take the opportunity to let his hands go. Our number 2 spot is going to go to Raymond Ford. Ford is the least known boxer on this list. On his way up, Ford took a lot of hard fights at a very young age, like Edward Vasquez, which may be a reason as to why people don't rate him that highly. But we've seen visible improvement and visible talent, especially in his hand speed. The way Ford throws punches in the footage, you'd think it's sped up. But like everyone else on this list, he just has the natural ability to throw hands at ridiculous speed. He became a champion earlier this year versus Otabek Kolmatov. He would then lose that title by a very close split decision to Nick Ball, and he now has a fight booked this Saturday on the same card as Boots Ennis against Orlando Gonzalez. Since he's now moved up to 130 pounds to the likes of Navarrete, Valdez, Foster, with the way he's been steadily improving every single fight, I could definitely see Raymond Ford being the best fighter in that division. Before we move on to our number 1 spot, like the video, because you can probably guess who it's going to be. The number 1 fastest hands in boxing has to go to Ryan Garcia. It seems like the obvious choice for number 1, but it can't really beat anyone else. Because of his antics outside the ring, it's easy to forget the talent that Ryan Garcia actually is. While he's not the best fighter on this list, he might be the best athlete on this list. I've never seen anything like his left hook in combat sports, and his performance versus Javier Fortuna was incredible. His jab was on point, his cross was on point, obviously the left hook was on point, the body shots were there, his distance was there. And fights like this show that he's not just a personality. One clip you may have seen from this fight is the super left hook in round 5. Ryan throws a right cross, and as he pulls back, he throws a left hook. But even zooming in, you can still barely see the left hook. You have to slow it down to actually see the impact. This could actually be the fastest punch, because I can't think of any other punches where I've had to slow down and zoom in to actually see the punch land. Ryan is quite a fundamentally flawed fighter, which is why he lost the way he did against Gervonta Davis. But regardless of skill level, if his opponent isn't durable enough to take the left hook, they can lose. And that's exactly what happened to Devin Haney. And since Ryan's speed is so unnatural that it's basically the only reason that he's a world level fighter, I think it's reasonable to make him number 1. And that does it for my list. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment with your top 5. Goodbye.